Hi, it's Ross from Mushville Times, and I'm here with Baz from Massive Wagons. How you doing?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, good to be here. How are you? Good.
Cheers. So the band are set to play Full Nelson next weekend. Full. How does it feel to be revisiting such an important record?
Yeah. It's great. We did one a few years ago. We did Welcome to the World a few years ago, and it was a big success. And Full Nelson was like an album. It was like the album that was our first album with Earache, and it was a big time for us that signing for Earache. And I think a lot of people were introduced to the band around that album, and that seems to be a lot of people's favorite album of ours. You have to find, don't you, with bands, wherever you find a band, that's often your favorite album. So yeah, it's gone down really well. We've sold it out, and I can't wait. A lot of the songs we have never played. Well, there's one or two we've never played before, and a few that we haven't played for 10 years. So it's good. Yeah, it's good. It's a nice challenge.
Nice. So has there been much like relearning of those songs that haven't really been touched in a long time, or the ones that haven't been touched at all?
Oh yeah. I mean, we've been practicing for the last sort of 6 or 7 weeks. Just rehearsing every week. We rehearse every week anyway, regardless. I've done for as long as the band's been together. But yeah, we've been focusing on the album for the last 6 or 7 weeks. And yeah, it's one of them. Like you don't play these songs and they're never in the set. But then when you come to play them, you go, oh, this is all right. This is pretty good. So. There's probably going to be a few of them in the April tour set as well. Maybe some we haven't played for a long time. You reinvigorate songs when you don't play them for a long time.
Yeah, for sure. As you talked about the Welcome to the World show that you did a couple of years before that, this is also happening 8 years after the release. Why not wait until like the traditional 10 years mark?
Was it really 8 years? To be quite honest with you, I have no idea. There is no reason. It was just
Yeah.
we just thought it'd be a good idea.
Fair, got to respect the honesty rather than like some like sort of like pre-made answer.
No, we just thought, why don't we do a full Nelson show? That sounds like fun. So yeah,
Mm,
that was it. That was the only reason. Yeah.
mm. Obviously, Back to the Stack was released about a year before, but features on that album. What was
Mm.
it like to then support Status Quo a couple of years after the fact, and how did it feel to play in arenas?
Oh yeah, well, amazing to be honest. Yeah, they're all really nice guys as well. That was a really big, really cool thing to meet them, and it sort of confirms that the guys that you sort of look up to are really nice. They were always really sound. And every night when we played that song "Back to the Stack" in the set on the Skinner tour, they're because they were obviously on right after us, so all their crew were getting all their gear ready. And then every night we played it, they put down what they were doing and came and watched us play it. Stood at the front of the stage and watched us play it, and then applauded us. Because obviously they knew it was about Rick and stuff. It was like, yeah, really cool. It's like they were showing us a little bit of respect.
Mm.
It was cool and played in an arena. Wow, I mean, crikey, yeah, amazing. Yeah, it's the only thing about arena gigs is unless you're going around the world, you're only playing a few days. We only played four, so by the time you've played your last one, you're only just getting going, and it's time to go home again. And when your sets are only 25 minutes long, you've not done a lot of gigging really. But the experience is amazing, absolutely amazing. Yeah, Manchester especially was fantastic.
You've the album's also got China Plates on it, which I'd, is arguably like rock's first social media sucks song. Like, how does it like? Because it seems like now like every band's got to have a screw social media song.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I never knew it. I never knew it was or it wasn't really. To be honest, it just seemed quite an obvious thing to write about at the time. But yeah, again, we haven't played that for a long time. That was in the set for ages. We used to love playing that, and then they probably took it out because it was in for a long time. But yeah, it's nice to play it again. People like it. I like the kind of personally, I like the kind of faster ones, the ones that are a bit more sort of high energy, that and pressure. And I know pressure's not on that album, but them kind of songs, I really like them playing them.
Yeah, for sure. You've also got your first live album coming out in a few weeks' time. Why now?
Well, it's something we've wanted to do for a long, long time. We've talked about it for a long time, and we're all massive fans of those bands from back in the day that put out live albums. Like Rainbow and Scorpions and Slade and AC/DC. All them kind of bands. They're all famed for putting big live albums out. So we always thought it'd be a cool thing to do. It's a massive challenge. You know, and it's kind of I think it's kind of proof of who you are and what you can do. You know, there's no real hype. You know, it's a proper showcase of who you are. You know, there's no studio wizardry going on there. You record what you record. We
Mm,
recorded it over 2 nights, so you know we're even more restricted to what we use than most bands who might record a live album over a tour. You know, uh,
mm,
and the fact that it was at Lancaster as well was it's got to be done at the. We always thought it's got to be done at the right time, at the right place. You know, with the right crowd and the right songs and everything like that. And Lancaster came along, and it was a special occasion anyway, playing at Lancaster University because they haven't had bands there for about 40 years. So it kind of made sense. So we just thought, why don't we just invest and put some effort in and record a live album and see how it comes out?
mm.
Yeah.
What was it like to actually play that venue, like, and be on stage in your hometown where so many legends have played?
Oh, yeah, it was amazing. There was a little bit of pressure, a little bit of pressure. You know, there's so many people who came to see the gig from the local area that all went to see those bands. So you immediately felt like they were going to compare the nights that they had there to what you were doing, you know, to the night they were having with you. So there was a little bit of pressure for it to be good because you didn't want to let the occasion down. Because
Mm,
I mean, we had built it up so much as well, you know. So we kind of made a rod for our own back a bit, really. But yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. It was a really great feeling, and everybody went away and seemed to enjoy it. Our tour manager, when we walked into the venue on the first day to set everything up, I mean, he used to go and watch bands there back in the day, like, and his face lit up, and he was like, "I haven't been in here for 35 years," you know. He was like, "Wow, this is bloody hell, this is amazing." So, you know, I can imagine there was quite a lot of people there feeling the same way. So it's quite a special occasion, really, you know.
yeah. I mean, I was there on the Friday night and it was a phenomenal show from you guys, and like you had two great supports with Harrison Rimmer and obviously the Virgin Marys. Like it was just a great night.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great. Well, I mean, yeah, that was another thing as well. We obviously we took it as a great opportunity to have supports that we love and people that we really like, we get on really well with. Harrison's a local guy, has our Life in Neon. We know Harrison anyway. He's absolutely fantastic. And Life in Neon from Saturday night, they rehearse at our rehearsal place with us. And obviously the New Roses and the Virgin Marys, we've done a lot with those guys over the years and love them both. So we tried to make it a massive occasion, you know, and give those guys the opportunity to play on the stage in front of a lot of people as well, you know.
Hmm. Has there been any discussions about getting more rock bands in off the back of how successful those shows were?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think it's easy for people to get wrapped up in that when you're doing it and it's a big success and everybody wants to do it. But in the cold light of day, I don't know. I don't know. There's no PA in that room. We had to bring the PA in. So unless they're going to hire a PA in every time or buy a PA,
Hmm.
but you know, like the way things are at the moment, the university there, they just laid off a lot of people from the campus. So I don't know. I don't know if there's any money to spare for it. It would be amazing,
Hmm.
uh, but it would
Yeah, for
also
sure.
require somebody to sort of take the bull by the horns, and finding that person is always difficult. And university students come and go, don't they? So
Hmm.
I,
Yeah,
don't-
for sure.
I don't know.
You also did a matinee show for school kids. How does that differ from an evening show, if at all?
It was the most honest. It was the most bonkers thing we've ever done. It was madness. Obviously, we wanted to do it because kids that age, they were between about 7 and probably 10, 11 maybe. And they've never, probably 99% of them had never seen a band before, maybe. Certainly never seen a live band in a live band setting like that on a stage and everything, you know, with a full PA and we had the confetti cannons going off. And they all filtered in. There was about 500 of them, and they were all sat down. And then they sat there for 10 minutes, and then the lights went dark. And then as soon as the lights went dark, obviously they all started screaming at this like super high child pitch that only kids can scream at. And it was like, is it? I'm not comparing this to the Beatles, but you know when the girl, you know, on the famous video of the Beatles, they're all screaming. That's what it was like. But it was just because they were excited, you know. It was amazing. You go on stage and you start playing, and you could see them. They didn't know what to do. They were sort of looking at the teachers. Are we allowed to do anything? Do we sit here or do we stand up? And I'm trying to get them going, and they slowly getting into it, clapping, and then they start getting up as the songs go on. And by the end of it, yeah, they were flipping, going bananas. Yeah, and teachers were loving it. It was amazing. It was an amazing thing to see, to witness. You know, it was, could just see this see it unfolding in their mind what they were seeing. You know, it was like the first gig they'd ever been to, and it felt really good. You know, loved it.
Nice. Also like for me, I think it was pretty much like the ultimate like Massive Wagons set list. How long did you guys actually agonize over crafting the set list?
Yeah, probably it probably took a while. I mean, yeah, it took a bit. We did both sets were slightly different each night. It was because we wanted some different songs to see what came out the best for this live album. You see, so we sort of picked the songs that we had to pick, and then it was a case of picking. Yeah, but there's probably about five or six that were the agonised over. Really, I would say the most of it's we kind of knew what we had to play anyway to get people going, and you know, the kind of crowd favourites and all that. But
Yeah.
then, but sort of there was probably another 10 songs that we could have chosen, but the hardest thing was whittling those 10 songs down to five songs because there just wasn't time to play them all, you know.
Hmm.
I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta go for it and just have faith. It's gonna be good, whatever you play. Don't think about it too much, you know.
Yeah, for sure. As well as like obviously involving the school kids in a show like that, you also run bullying workshops for school kids. What advice though would you give for an adult who's experiencing bullying? Because obviously it can happen at any age.
Who's an adult who's going through the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I would offer the same advice. Well, I wouldn't say go and tell your teacher because that'd be difficult. I would I'd definitely say speak to somebody, confide in somebody. You know, providing you've got good friends. Good friends are good friends, aren't they? I mean, I'd like to think if any of my mates were going through anything or any problems, I like to think I'm there for them, or family members certainly, or partners. I think the worst thing you can do is certainly keep it to yourself or bottle it up at an issue like that. Or if it's causing you, another thing we work with Andy's Man Club and all that. You know, if you're going through if it's causing some sort of mental health breakdown, then those guys are there. And I've been to they opened one in Morecambe recently, a new one, and me and Adam went down to see what it was all about because we thought we can't really talk and preach about it if we've never been to one.
Hmm.
It was amazing. It was one experience. You know, the guys running it were amazing, wonderful, and yeah, it was a really easy place to go and sit and talk and do and get things off your chest. You know. But yeah, I think if you're going through a situation like that, you need to talk to people. Definitely talk to me. I don't care. I get people messaging. You know, it's kind of sad to read some stuff, but you know, I like people message me and say and tell me about things they're going through, and just a friendly ear, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, I think that's what you need sometimes. It's just all you need.
Yeah, just it's kind of like the age. It's the age old saying, isn't it? A problem shared is a problem halved, if you like. I think if you've
Yeah.
got two brains working on it, on a solution, it's you're not on your own, are you?
Yeah, absolutely. What about advice for new bands? What would you say to new bands starting out?
Um, be prepared to work hard. Yeah, work hard. Don't be put off by setbacks. Knockbacks. Yeah, don't be a dickhead. That's a good one. Have belief in what you're doing, faith in what you're doing, confidence. Be confident. Yeah, be a nice person. Be a nice person and get the job done well. That's a good piece of advice we've always sort of found works for us. I mean, I was talking to Terry Mayer than half an hour manager the other day about things how the music industry's changed since we started. Now bands now bands seem to be able to be around for a year and then they're already on to bigger things. It's really great to see in some ways. They're playing in your Planet Rock events and stuff. They've been around for a year, a couple of years, and they're flipping playing Download or Planet Rock or Stone Dead and all that. But it took us about 8 years before we got picked up by Planet Rock. And that was 8 years of slogging it out because there just wasn't the access to the same infrastructure and the same management and the same PR and the same all that stuff. Things that make it easy for bands now are at the fingertips. But it took us donkey's years to get anywhere.
Hmm. Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, the bands that are getting all that may be struggling because there are lots of great bands all making noise at the same time. So it's sometimes hard to get noticed above the sound of all the other great bands that are taking advantage of the same opportunities. But so I would say if you don't feel like things are going well for you, just remember it took us 8 years to get anywhere.
Hmm.
Playing shitholes for donkey's years for nobody. It's all great foundation, isn't it, for a band? You know,
Yeah,
every gig you play and every person you play in front of is a step forward, I think. You know, and if you love what you're doing, don't worry too much about progress too much because you're progressing even without realizing. I think.
yeah, for sure.
I
Sound advice there, I'd say.
waffled on a bit there, didn't I?
That's all right. It's all good.
Making it up as I go along.
I mean, in there's like advice just for life in general, like be a nice
Yeah.
person and don't be a dickhead.
Yeah, well, everybody likes work. We always found people like working with nice people, don't they? We always found that we got rebooked for gigs and for shows and stuff because we were getting on with everyone and we were nice guys and we were we weren't awkward and we didn't make any silly demands and we did our job and didn't complain and hung around, watched the other bands and went home. So you got Massive Wagons, they were great lads, weren't they? They were no hassle. They went down, well, we'll have them on again. We had no shortage of gigs in the day, you know. We did always encounter the Billy Big Bollocks bands, you know, at the time. And honestly, they never lasted very long. They got disheartened and vanished, you know.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah, we won't name names.
I don't know what they're doing. They wouldn't know them anyway. It was that long ago.
Lastly, other than this Warrington show, and the tour that you mentioned, what else is the band got planned for the rest of the year?
Well, we got a tour in April, May, like a UK tour. It's not a full UK tour. It's kind of some places that we don't go very often, you know, places like that. And then we got the Warrington thing, and then we got Christ on my bike. What else are we doing? We've got some European stuff coming up. A couple of European festivals announced. We've got a bit more European stuff that we haven't announced yet, and maybe a European tour for the end of the year. And we're recording an album as well. Hopefully, we've got about 3/4 of it written, I would say. So that's hopefully going to slot that in somewhere, maybe. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time, and I'm so looking forward to the show next week in Warrington.
Hey, boy, you're coming on. Brilliant, amazing, nice one.
Yeah, man.
We'll see you there then.
See you there. Cheers for your time.
No problem at all. Thanks very much. Likewise. See
Cheers.
you later, buddy.
See ya.
This episode is copyright The Moshful Times, introductory music by Elliot Alderman Broom, and any music used throughout the episode is copyright to the original performers and creators.